Hi guys, Bob here, flying solo. Apologies for that misleading little introduction. I just thought I'd have a bit of fun with you. As you can see, I can't really play that stuff, but it's good fun trying. The reason I'm doing this video today is because I've got a mod on a cheap Strat that I want to share with you because I think it's a real success. And you can see what you think, but I think you can do it for yourselves for a very small amount of money. And it might suit you, and it's almost completely reversible. So let me describe it. What I'm playing today is my Mexican Roland Ready Strat. So I've had it about 15 years. It's a sort of early 2000s guitar. You know, low priced guitar, was often sold with a Roland GR 33 or GR 55 now synthesizer, because it's got the Roland pickup. It's also got a little switch here. I'll do a close-up. It's got a switch here that switches between synth, guitar and both. It's got two buttons here that take you up and down banks on the synth, which is really useful because the foot pedals that take you up and down the banks, if you gig it, you get into a right old mess. So these are really useful. It obviously runs on a 13-pin Roland jack out the side. That's a DIN plug, so it's not particularly durable. So very good idea to tuck your cable into your strap to make sure you never tug it, because if you do tug it, it will snap off and break with those tiny little pins and plastic body, and it's crappy. But this is a cheap-ish Stratocaster. Had it for years, set it up myself. The pickups are quite posh. The pickups are early Mark Foley pickups, and he's quite famous for the work he does. I think his pickups appear in a lot of Simon Law's SVL guitars, so Matt Schofield will play them. I think Robin Ford will play them if he plays a Strat. They're really first-rate pickups. Quite masculine, quite forceful. You couldn't really hear that through that pillow of fuzz, but as I say, just a bit of fun. That's enough of that. So a little bit of clean. This is, as I say, a pretty standard Mexican Strat. Nothing special, flashy about it. I'm on wireless today just because it's convenient, but there's nothing going on there. What I've done, and I'll do close-ups of this as well. What I've done, several years ago, I was geeking out online and looking. I think I was looking for Strat trem saddles, something like that, and I found this picture. Very weird picture. It had, it was a close-up of a Strat bridge. It looked like one of those Nash 50s yellow and black relic Stratocasters, that kind of guitar. It was like a modern relic, quite beat. But instead of the regular trem plate here, it had what looked like the back end of a Telecaster plate, which is thinner metal plate and curved up at the edge and sides. And in it, it had the Telecaster style bridge saddles, so three sausage-shaped bits of, it was brass in this case, adjusted by an intonation thing. So, and I kind of looked at it and thought, wow, that's really funky, that's really curious. And then I didn't think anything more about it for a long time. When I bought my Squire Paranormal Nashville Strat, the gold one that I did a video on, and by the way, thanks for watching, because a lot of you have watched it. It's done 6,000 views. It's really popular. Obviously resonated, pun intended. When I got used to playing that guitar, which incidentally I've put a better neck pickup in now, I've put a Sun Bear pickup in that Stuart Robson of Sun Bear has lent me, and it really does, the balance between the three pickups is much better, it's really good, so I'm probably going to stick with that. Getting used to that guitar, I thought, look, I really like these Telecaster saddles on a Stratocaster type platform. And that got me thinking about that old trem that I'd seen. So I did a bit more research. Lo and behold, I came across this company in Wales called Woodtone, W-U-D-T-O-N-E. And they seem to specialise in upgrades for Strats, right up to actually making you a whole upgraded Strat. So, you know, tuners, pickups, trems, saddles, trem blocks, wiring, all, you know, souped up Strat stuff. They look pretty good, and the people I know who've dealt with them say they're fantastic guys, good, you know, very helpful, so on. And on their website, they've got one of these bridge assemblies. It's kind of, is it a Telecaster, is it a Strat? The original was made by a company called Glendale and was called a Chime Master. And Glendale went out of business apparently about 10 years ago. They turn up occasionally on Reverb and they're 250 quid, something like that, which is not, you know, life-destroying amount of money. But it's, on a guitar like this, a £250 upgrade on a trem is a bit excessive, really. I mean, it's not a problem, but it's a bit disproportionate for me, especially for something that's a bit of fun rather than, yeah, I need that. So I looked into it a bit further, and I realised that I could actually, on a cheapish guitar like this, where I'm not worried about messing around with the parts, because the parts are, you know, original but cheap. So all I needed to do was to drill 3 more holes for the intonation screws between the 6 that already exist for the Stratocaster individual saddles. You can probably do this if you're very careful with a hand drill, but I enlisted the services of a friend of mine who's got a press drill for accuracy. And he very kindly did that for me. It was a very quick modification. There was a bit more faff involved because having never taken the trem of this guitar off before, I played it, you know, for years, on and off. Right now I'm playing synth in a band, so I'm playing this guitar a lot. But sometimes I've used it a lot, sometimes it's sat in the case for 3 months. I'd never taken the trem off the body. When I did, with the 6 screws that hold it, it emerged that the previous owner had done some kind of work to the guitar long before I owned it. So this is, you know, 20 years ago. And when they put it back together, they'd managed, in taking these screws out, they'd managed to break 3 of them. So 3 of the screws came out no problem, and 3 of them came out after a bit of coaxing. It turned out that they were glued in, and they were only half the length they should have been because the rest of them was already broken off inside the guitar. So it turned out to be a bit of a repair job to actually first of all drill the 3 remaining bits of screw out of the guitar, fill it, and then screw the old trem with the new holes back on. Okay. Fortunately, I've got a good friend who's an excellent luthier and is quite local and helped me out. So what was going to be 3 little holes and a bit of fun turned into a bit of a job, but a job that needed doing. Right, back to square one. I've now got a trem plate with these 3 extra holes in it, which means that we can screw on Telecaster style saddles. I've still got the old saddles from the gold Paranormal Strat because I put brass ones on. So I had these in my bits box, and I thought, before I shell out any more money, I'll just put the old cheapy cheaps on, see how it works. It's really good. I mean, first of all, I think it looks dead funky. It's a matter of taste. But you're looking at this and it looks like a Stratocaster, except there's something wrong with it. And I don't mean the Roland pickup. I mean, what's that on the bridge? It's a bit funny, but quirky in a good way. It's going to look even better when the new saddles arrive, which are Wilkinson brass saddles. It's going to look great. Did I do it for looks? No. because if it looked great but sounded shit, I would have taken them back off and put the Strat saddles back on and thought, clever, clever. But I've got these on, and it transpires that this guitar now behaves slightly differently. It's still a Strat. The trem still works like a Strat, feels like a Strat, looks like a Strat, smells like a Strat, but it's slightly more acoustic. Now I've done the old trick with undoing the bolts slightly and letting it all settle again. I've done my old tricks there. If you look at one of my previous videos, that's another amazing zero cost tweak that might well work for you. It works for most of my bolt-on guitars. So I've done that as well, but I don't know if you can hear it acoustically. So I'm showing you two things there. First of all, how well this guitar rings. Now, I set a great deal of stock in the acoustic properties of a guitar. I know some people disagree with me, and if you're buying an old Silvertone or a Daniel Electro, you're going for a retro funk alt vibe, it's irrelevant. But for me, the first sign of a good guitar, pick it off the wall in a shop, long before you plug it in, does it ring? Well, this guitar has always been pretty good for a cheapie, but now it's amazing. It rings like a pro shop guitar. And the other thing I'm doing here, again acoustically, is I'm moving the trem, because still a Strat trem, the springs, the claw, and the cheap nasty trem block underneath the trem, which is just a bit of zinc in this guitar. I haven't upgraded that. They're not changed, but this trem feels and sounds different with these saddles. It sounds more Gretschy. If you're going to, like, you know, I don't know, dive bomb and stuff, I don't, but if you're going to, it does. But for gentle movement, it feels to me slightly more Gretschy, slightly more, you know, it's wonderful for cleans, kind of alt, you know. Now, I'm not making it easy here because I've got a bit of modulated echo on this, so, but for that kind of moving ambient sound, this is great. And it doesn't seem to get in the way of playing it as an ordinary guitar, either, you know, playing funk or, you know, rhythm parts or whatever. I mean, that intro was a bit of fun because, you know, I wouldn't really play that kind of music. Well, I wouldn't play it anyway, but I wouldn't play it on a Strat. I'd play it on a souped-up guitar. But it's really funny because it's still a Strat, but it's got this extra slight acousticness, resonance, ring to it. Now, as I say, this was an experiment, a bit of fun with my cheapest and most, you know, muckaboutable Strat. I didn't really expect it to work. I just thought it'd be a bit of fun. It's worked a treat. I'm really staying with this. I've now ordered a set of Wilkinson brass saddles, £12.50 or something from Northwest Guitars. They're on the way in the post to put on. These will go back in the box because these are just the cheapy cheaps that came on the Paranormal, and they're pennies worth. So the brass things will be a nice slight upgrade. They'll smooth the sound in a bit, make it a little less sharp and jangly. But this guitar now plays and feels like a Strat, but different to my other Strats. So I've got my old vintage Strat, I've got my Eric Johnson Strat. They do the kind of Strat things. Then I've got that Paranormal thing, which is a mutt and a hybrid anyway, but an incredible success and breathtaking value for the money. And I'm playing that a lot. And this, because I'm playing it in a band a lot anyway, it gets a lot of use, but I just thought, why not try it? So I can't wait to take this out and gig it. I know it's going to work. most of the time I'm just going to be using it the way I normally use it. But when I spend any time on it, as I say, it has made this amazing difference. So apart from, you know, the leap of faith of drilling 3 holes in a cheap and completely replaceable bridge plate, and I mean, if you're careful, you've got a nice sharp drill bit, you've got a vise, and you pop, you know, with a centre punch, you pop the holes and you do it, take it easy. You don't need a drill press to do this, as long as you're careful. A drill press just makes it really accurate. But that and a set of saddles, 12.5 quid, is the only cost. It all depends what you play and how you play it. If you're, you know, a straight up blues and rock guy, you might do it for fun, but it's probably not going to benefit you. But if you play anything slightly ambient, acoustic, alt, country, folk, things like that, I reckon it's worth a try. Now, you can go the whole hog. Woodtone in Wales do a whole kit that you can literally just take out and drop in with an upgraded tremolo block. Everything's really good. It's a couple of £100 plus, so it's a bit of an investment. And so, as I say, if you weren't sure about what you were going to do in advance, it's a bit of money. If the guitar you're doing it on is fairly cheap, I mean, having said that, this is probably a £300 set of pickups on a guitar that would have been 500 quid when it was new and is probably worth the same now, you know. So, and lots of people mod their Strats and teles. That's the beauty of these guitars. You can muck about with them, change everything. And they do set up well. But anyway, there you go. That's a mod. I through this video, I will have been putting up quite a lot of close-ups and stuff like that, so you can see what the hell I'm talking about. I mean, again, maybe I will just switch the echoes off and just play it clean through and out, just on the way out of this video, just to show you the sound it makes. It's pretty subtle, and I hope the mic picks it up. But as a bit of fun that you can have pretty much by yourself at home with a Strat, it's a hell of a mod. I'd really recommend it. It's great fun. I'm sticking with it. I think it makes a really interesting difference to an arsenal of guitars. So that's it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope to see you again. Don't forget the Bob and Ramon show is posting prolifically at the moment. A video about Blackface amps, a deluxe, a deluxe and a Princeton went up today. The next video is going to be about 2 burst replicas, Sunburst Les Paul replicas, played against my real one. It's a long video, it's quite detailed, but there are 2 really good modern burst replicas in this video, and some fantastic playing from Ramon in there as well. So there's that, and then there's yet another amp video coming up in about 10 days, 2 weeks time, which is the final one of our little Safari North, and that one is the Fender 5E3 Deluxe, Tweed Deluxe from 1959 against a small cabinet Marshall Bluesbreaker from the mid-60s. We kept that video last of the 5 we've done from that Safari because we both agreed that they were the amps we liked best. I absolutely loved the Deluxe, and Ramon, who's a bit more aggressive, he really shredded through the Marshall. So some good videos to come. Please keep watching on both channels. Thanks for watching this one. See how you get on with this idea. Do let me know in the comments. I love reading your comments. So thanks for watching, and bye for now. Thank you.